It's been 4 hours since the release of body camera video showing Memphis Police arresting and brutally beating 29-year-old Tyre Nichols, a man who had so much love for his 4-year-old son, his mother, and was a free spirit according to family. By now, I'm sure you've decided whether or not you want to watch the video showing the inhumanity that would ultimately end Tyre's life earlier this month. This team has decided not to show you any part of that video tonight. Instead, we'll focus on 3 things: what our neighbors are saying, why some say this case should set a new standard, and what you can do to prioritize your mental health in traumatic situations. I should also welcome you in tonight. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Lorenzo Hall. Tonight, we have our team in place ready to bring you new reaction, perspective, and context. I want to begin with our Casey Nolan live at Lafayette Square in Northwest, where protesters gathered just as that video was being released. Casey.
Zoe, right now, police are still here in downtown with a stepped-up presence, but the crowds are gone. And the crowds that were here, they were nothing like the crowds we've seen in past years here in Lafayette Square, but their demands were the same. And the protesters say that proves there's still a problem with policing.
What do we want?
Justice! Just across Pennsylvania from the White House Friday night,
Indict! Convict!
people were again out to protest the police.
Send these killer cops to jail!
This time the crowd was smaller and at times somber, but still passionate.
He needed love that day!
With speakers like Karen Hilton.
I'm trying to keep it together.
Just last month, a jury convicted a D.C. police officer of murdering her 20-year-old son, Karan Hilton Brown.
It reminds me that there's another mother that's crying. I cried before I came here. It reminds me that someone's life has changed. It reminds me that someone lost their child.
And while this wasn't a march like in previous years, people here say it is still part of a national movement, one they believe is the reason for charges against the officers in Memphis.
That is precisely why.
And organizer Sean Blackman says even though those officers are black, the death of Tyre Nichols is still the result of racism.
The institution of policing in the United States is racist by its very nature. Without question, what happened to Tyre Nichols was racist police terror.
Even if those black officers would never consider themselves racist.
Absolutely. It's not a matter of what they consider, and it's not the color of their skin, it's the color of the uniform.
This protest lasted about 2 hours. There are no incidents to report. It was peaceful. Organizers say they will be back, Zoe.
Yeah, we know the president and Tyre's family urged people to protest peacefully, and as of right now, it seems people are listening. Casey, thank you. Our team coverage continues now with our Rafael Sanchez Cruz. He spent the evening talking with demonstrators in Northwest who say Tyre's case is just re-traumatizing.
Tonight, the protesters that gathered at 13th and K Street said they were intentional about not going to Black Lives Matter Plaza, calling it unsafe and also a triggering reminder of when protesters were beaten and gassed by law enforcement officers during the protests in 2020. Our street. Demonstrators shut down the intersection of 13th and K Street Northwest in downtown D.C. in solidarity with the nationwide protests over the death of Tyre Nichols, who was fatally injured by 5 Memphis police officers.
It should not take the releasing of body cam footage of a black man being murdered by police for people to jump to action.
Advocates calling the release of the police video triggering for the black community.
I had to call mothers today and say, don't watch this video. Because they live in D.C. and experience what Tyre's family is experiencing every day.
Activists say Nichols' death is a reminder of pending investigations into the killings of black men at the hands of D.C. police.
David Lazarus Wilson, Troy Bullock, and Kevin Hargrave's shirt should also still be here.
D.C. police has fully activated all sworn members in preparation for more protests during the weekend.
We reserve the right to defend ourselves by any means necessary. We will not burn the house down, but we damn sure gonna move some furniture around.
These activist groups say they're working with their counterparts in Memphis to determine when they will continue with protests here in D.C. In Northwest, Rafael Sanchez Cruz, USA 9.
And you know, the pace of this investigation also has people talking tonight. 2 hours ago, 2 sheriff's deputies were also put on leave after they were spotted in that video tonight. The attorney for Tyre's family, Ben Crum, says moving this fast should be the standard for, sadly, what will likely be similar investigations in the future.
We want to proclaim that this is the blueprint going forward for any time any officers, whether they be black or white, will be held accountable